services and multiple staff, so scheduling is simple. And with client notes and stored payments, you can offer seamless checkouts, so clients keep coming back. Run your beauty business with tools that bring everything together. Get started at Square.com today. Get tools that bring every angle of your beauty business together. Clients can book online 24/7 for multiple services and multiple staff, so scheduling is simple. And with client notes and stored payments, you can offer seamless checkouts, so clients keep coming back. Run your beauty business with tools that bring everything together. Get started at Square.com today. Switch to Square and take charge of your business and your time. Switch to fast setup and even faster checkouts. Switch to making every sale, every way you want, and every way they want too. Switch to one system connecting every tool to every task, even as your business grows. Switch to taking control and taking more free time, whatever that means to you. Make the switch to Square today. Visit Square.com to get started.
My favorite babysitter is Annalisa. She's pretty good. She's like my grandma. She says, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" She plays with me. She helps you feel better. Bugs and insects are healthy for you. Amelia took us to the beach. She teaches me some gymnastics. We like color. We draw flowers, and then we go skateboarding.
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
There's an easier way. From little fixes to big projects, taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
Hey, does this suit look okay to you?
Yeah.
It doesn't look too...
Baggy? No, it's not baggy. Let's just, Perfect. You look great. Right, Glenn?
It's good.
Suits that actually fit for you and your crew. Rent from theblackduck.com.
Custom Ink helps to celebrate and drive our students' achievements with custom gear. They love Custom Ink's different styles and designs. We love how Custom Ink makes the process simple with their easy-to-use design lab, expert artists ready to help, and unbeatable customer service. Custom Ink allows our kids to show everyone their accomplishments and the pride they have in our school. When we place an order, I know they got our back, so we can focus on the kids.
Custom Ink has hundreds of products to help you feel connected. Upload your logo or start your design today at customink.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Before ClickUp, we were kind of a mess. We had so many different systems that we were using to communicate and share knowledge that you kind of had to code switch every time you were talking to somebody different. We have distributed teams all across the world. There's a clear time difference there, and I think ClickUp really helps manage all that information regardless of time. We can communicate asynchronously, and so we are able to be very productive using ClickUp.
Shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
Your attention, please. You're watching Yes.
So lots on the table. Knicks, the biggest story. 9 o'clock tonight, 8:30 pre. Dan Grassa, 9 o'clock tip. Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt. Knicks, Sixers Game 6. And reports are that no matter what happens tonight, Game 1 of the next round series between either the Knicks or the Pacers, Knicks or the Bucks, would begin on Monday. So that fuels the speculation that the Rangers will start their series on Sunday. We don't have a time. Nothing's been official. I'm assuming at some point today we're going to find out that the Rangers are on Sunday. They got to let us know. It's already Thursday. We know the game's going to be at the Garden. Now, there was talk, Peter, of there possibly being 4 games on Sunday in the NHL, 3 Game 7s, and then the Ranger-Hurricane Game 1. Where do you put them all? But the Edmonton Oilers won last night. That's one of the Game 7s that isn't going to happen. And there still could be 3 games, but you could probably put the Rangers on it at 7 or 8 o'clock and have the other games be in the afternoon or whatever. But it looks like Sunday Rangers, Monday Knicks. But Knicks have to win. And I think they will, but I have a feeling it's going to be on Saturday in Game 7. But stranger things have happened. Knicks have already won in Philadelphia. And we saw the Sixers bounce back after their tough Game 2 loss. So the Knicks, no reason why they shouldn't be able to bounce back.
And with that, Don, let's keep talking New York Knicks basketball. Let's go to Lang in Connecticut. Hey, Lang.
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. Don, I think you hit the nail on the head. Having taught and teach sports psychology at Michael's alma mater, beloved, prestigious institution.
Oh, wow.
Fatigue does play a role. Yeah, no, just an adjunct. Don't get excited. But it does play a role in terms of manualizing automated processes, mechanics. But that's not the point of the call. What I wanted to mention was Dante. I think back to the 2021 playoffs, Knicks versus Hawks, and Reggie Bullock reminds me of Dante. He had a phenomenal regular season. And in the playoffs, with the exception of Game 2, and, of course, Dante hit the big 3, and then in Game 4, he hit back-to-back threes in the third, mounting the comeback in Philly. Dante has been non-existent, and I just really hope that they get to a good start tonight because I don't see them recovering if they fall back in the first quarter by 10 or 12, and that they spray it. You hear Tibbs always say, get in the paint and spray it out. And that's where Dante needs to come into play and hit 3-4. I think the stat I read was if Dante hits more than 2 or 3 threes, they haven't lost a game in the series. So I think that's going to be the biggest indicator on whether or not they win.
Well, I think he has to hit his threes. He's got to be good from the perimeter. There's zero question about that.
That was a very good point, though. It has been not great for Dante DiVincenzo. And as we said earlier, unless someone else, a Precious Achiuwa, OG, unless someone else really brings something offensively, you're relying on a big Josh Hart or Dante DiVincenzo night to really give Jalen Brunson some breathing room. Don, I don't know if you got the which group text was it in? The lines for Jalen Brunson over the last several games.
Oh yeah,
these are insane numbers that he's putting up.
No, he's incredible.
The guy's doing crazy things that you can't possibly ask him for more. So he needs to get help. You can't expect 40 and 12 every single night from Jalen Brunson, even though that's what he's been giving you, essentially. So you got to hope that they get more. Hey, Matt in Middletown has something. Hey, Matt.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good. How are you?
What do you got, bud?
Nothing much. I was just calling in because I actually was on hold for a little bit because I noticed Andrew was getting on, which was fantastic for the business. By business, I mean the industry, of course. And I was just wanted to say it was kind of when the time that he was mentioning that story was the time I got around to following the show, and I ended up seeing that clip on the Yes Network on YouTube. I want to say 2 months after I started following the show. So that was kind of crazy that that story came up today. And on top of that, Peter, one thing for you, what do you think about what's going on with Backlash? And then for Don, I'm going to Nashville tonight, actually. So any thoughts about the Predators game on Friday? Thanks, guys.
All right. You go start, Peter.
I'm excited for Backlash. I'm mostly excited for Jey Uso, Damian Priest. Very, very excited to see what New York's own friend of the show and Yankee fan, Damian Priest, to see what he can do in his World Heavyweight Championship match. But, I'm stoked about it. I wish I was going to be in France for it, but I will not be.
And he's going to go to Nashville Friday. Nashville plays Game 6 against the Canucks. Canucks are up 3-2. I felt like with all the 3-1 series that had existed, there was like 5 of them. At the time, I said, I think the team that's got the best chance of coming back from 3-1 down is Nashville. Because I felt like one of these teams is going to do it. It happens a lot in the NHL, more so than in the NBA and in Major League Baseball. I think Nashville can do it. Vancouver's depleted with their goaltending. They got a home game here in Game 6 after winning a really solid defensive battle in Game 5 in Vancouver. Vancouver is not a perennial playoff team. They're relatively new to this, winning their division and being a high seed. I can see Nashville winning tomorrow and enforcing a Game 7 on Sunday. So I think if you're a Predators fan and just want to see a good game, I think that's going to be fun.
Guys, we have 1 hour until ENN. So the next hour is going to be nothing but Knicks fans, your expectations, concerns, level of nervousness. How are you watching the game? Thoughts on it being a 9 o'clock tip. We have one line open right now, 1-800-919-3776. And I got to tell you about my friends over at Bath that are...
The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you in part by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
With Spectrum Mobile's Anytime upgrade, you get to upgrade your phone anytime you want for free, which means you get the best, latest and greatest, most up-to-date technology out there. So say you want a bigger screen, less screen, more storage, less storage. Doesn't matter. Any color. You can upgrade anytime. And who wouldn't want that? Except for Ryan. And that's a life choice. That's respect.
I got to get back to this.
Yeah.
Don't wait to upgrade your phone. Get Anytime Upgrade, included with Unlimited Plus from Spectrum Mobile.
Yes Network is now streaming on Fubo. Watch the Yankees and more of your New York teams. Streaming live on all your devices. Plus, over 350 top channels. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
The final stone of the championship.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary.
Rogers, this is looking good.
We believe every moment in sports should be epic.
Is that curling? No.
This morning's news, curling fever has taken over the world.
So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
You could pick from hundreds of law firms for your mesothelioma or asbestos lung cancer case. But would you be confident that you made the best choice? Whites & Luxembourg is the firm that has represented more asbestos disease clients than any other firm in the metropolitan area. With 30 years experience, they have New York's highest recorded asbestos verdicts of all time. The choice is clear, and the stakes could not be higher.
Whites & Luxembourg has our backs.
Call Whites & Luxembourg today.
Call 1-888-411-LAWS. That's 1-888-411-LAWS.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael K. Show. These highlights are brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees.
kidding me? We'd lose our job, but I mean, it'd be so interesting. The New York Knicks, less than 4 hours from now.
Yes, the countdown continues.
Finally, the New York Knicks will return to Philadelphia, to MSG South, a.k.a. the Wells Fargo Center. If you're on your way right now, I'd say stop by Angelo's and get yourself a cheesesteak, but you're going to have to wait online. So depending on your timing, maybe you want to go to Jim's or Steve's or Ishkabibbles, whatever suits you. Don, I will tell you, the cheesesteak that Natalie got me from Angelo's, it was out of control. There's good cheesesteak, Don.
Yeah.
And I'm not like some connoisseur. And then there's this one. I took a bite and was like, oh, my God, this is crazy. So anyways, if you're on the way.
It's so good down there because, unless you were lying to me, the one that I got you at
just the regular one at WWE World, yeah,
was good.
That was good. It was nothing.
Yeah.
That was just the concession stand.
It was just because we didn't have the time to go out and about in the city to be able to get.
Well, not to mention, if we asked one of our promotions people to go, then the station would have said, well, you got to make sure you pay them back. We don't want you to
stiff.
And I
was so disgusted by that.
I know.
That I went and waited online myself.
That's right.
Like a gentleman.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
And I thought it was good. So they know what they're doing down there with that. But
isn't it weird? Like, the ingredients aren't different. You're able to get the meat and the onions and the whiz. Why can no one get it to the level of Philly?
Why do real genuine pizzas taste better in New York? For bagels, they say it's the water. I
don't know. Is it? We don't know.
Or is it just psychologically you're in a place that when you're in Philadelphia, you know the cheesesteak's going to be good? I don't know.
By the way, before we get to these Knicks calls, last thing, you mentioned bagels. On the Upper West Side, right here on 72nd Street, there's been an empty spot where a diner I used to like has been at the corner of 72nd and West End. It has now been gone since COVID started. About 2 years ago, a sign came up saying a bagel place was moving in, a place called Kozar's.
Okay.
And this week, all like the construction got done and the signage is all there. Literally, to see the people in my neighborhood, which is a predominantly Jewish neighborhood, to see the amount of people that are walking by to just stare through the glass. When is this bagel?
When?
Me and Natalie were literally like, oh my God, it's opening. So hopefully it's good. Let's go to Dominic in Brooklyn. What's up, Dominic? Let's talk some New York Knicks basketball. What do you got?
Hey, gentlemen. I actually got a hockey question and then a big little statement of sorts on my way out since it's been a bit since I could call.
Okay,
the
go ahead.
question for Don is, would you agree that Rangers-Canes series could be the biggest telltale of the postseason the same way that Wolves and Nuggets might be for the NBA? Obviously not a certainty that that's the champion, but maybe the decided favorite. Just a thought. You can answer in a second. Here's the Yankees offense in a word, troubling. Giants running back with dimes, not what you want. But most importantly, tonight is such an important night for the Knicks, and we've already got Scott, the series extender Foster, who's going to make his presence probably unfortunately known. I just would love it if you could pass it on to your alleged friend, Stephen A. We don't want to hear made-up rumors about Cancun's MVP golfer, surfer, whatever he's filling his time with, in Devin Booker, joining our basketball team while we still have meaningful games to play. Stay away from the Knicks. Stay away from the Yankees. You've got the gift of gab to all of our detriment. You don't know ball. Cody and AJ is going to steal the show for Backlash, Sweet Pete, but Angelo's is the correct made cheesesteak. So points on that. I hope Ben Stiller picks Tracy Morgan up on his shoulders so he can punch Embiid in his crying eyes if it goes to 7. Go New York, go. Love you guys. Bye.
All right, well, that was well prepared, though. Does that take away from the point guard? Because that was very well done, and I appreciate everything that he said.
That was a lot.
There was a lot,
but he's very good.
I wonder how Knicks fans feel about Stephen A. Like, are they happy that Steven's back on board? Or I don't think he's a fraud? I think they think he's a fraud.
I think they don't believe that he's a real fan, and they were so annoyed by how much he used to come after them that I don't think Knicks fans are checking for Steven, unfortunately.
And as much as I do believe the two best teams of the NHL right now are the Rangers and the Hurricanes, I do not believe that the winner of that is necessarily winning the Cup. The Florida Panthers are also in that conversation, and that's probably who would be up next. Now, if it ends up being Toronto or Boston, it's a little bit of a different story, but I'm not saying that is the championship. There's still a lot that needs to be done if the Rangers do get by Carolina. And there was a lot of other things he addressed there. Ben Stiller, I think, would be in a little trouble if Tracy Morgan's on his shoulders.
Yeah, that's
maybe vice versa might work better.
Let's go to Eddie in Harlem. What up, Eddie?
How you doing, guys? Real quick on the Knicks. I'm a Knicks fan. I'm enjoying the moment. I think that people fail to realize that we're rolling the dice with 7 lows.
Oh, no.
Very well.
Okay.
Very well. The team was built very well. It was built around Randall and Brunson. They made a great trade. They got a defensive stop on the perimeter, and they ran off 10 straight games. Mitch Robinson gets hurt. Randall doesn't get the surgery. Now we're running with a superstar with a bunch of role players. So, yes, he's going to take 34 to 35 shots. Because who else what do you want? These role players are built for their role. Their role was to support Julius Randle and Brunson. Now they're put in positions where they have to be all-stars, maybe even above all-star players to get over the hump. We, like you say in football and basketball, we got the injury bug at the wrong time. When we started rolling with those 10 straight games, then we got hurt. Let's enjoy the ride. I'm a Knicks fan. I'm just happy I don't have Mike Sweetney, Keith Van Horn, and Marty Collins out there. The Knicks are in the right direction. Real quick, no one believes Stephen A. Smith is a Knicks fan. I'm from New York my whole life. I know people in Stephen A.'s neighborhood. He doesn't go over there. He doesn't support the neighborhood. He's a fraud. Nobody believes him.
That's strong.
Thanks a lot, guys.
But
thank you,
Eddie, here's what I take exception.
It's strong.
You're trying to create a soft landing for what could be a disappointing loss in this series. This is not the time to start telling me, well, we were banged up and this was fool's gold and we should just be happy to be here. This is all part of the process. Bull, you're up 3-1 in the series. You're up 3-2 in the series with a Game 7 in your own building. I'm sorry. As much as you might have some built-in excuses and as much as I believe that this team will be better with Julius Randle next year, whoever they happen to add, you're going to be red hot and deservedly so if they don't win this series. No. You can't play that game, Peter. That's not right. You're setting yourself up so that if you fall, oh, listen, it's not that bad. I don't want to take any calls on Monday, Peter. If they lose tonight and they lose Saturday, on Monday getting calls from Knicks fans who say, I was just happy we made the playoffs. I didn't expect to win this series. Come on. You guys were chanting, we want Boston outside Madison Square Garden after you won Game 1. You guys were saying that this is going to be an easy
Fair
series.
point.
We're going to roll over the Sixers.
Fair point.
And now, we didn't have Julius Randle. What did you expect? You can't do it. No.
Don,
No.
You might have stole point guard there at 5'11". By the way, guys, in 5 minutes or less, we're going to hear from John Starks. He's going to join us to talk about tonight's game, the series in general. And this is why I hate people. This is why I can't go on social media. Because you know what bothers me about you people on the socials? You just outright lie. That's what bothered me. This is such a small thing. A guy named Dustin Nextdoor, or no, his real thing is Young Denzel 99. LOL, of course Peter named the most common Philly cheesesteak places.
You rattled off like 7.
Hold on. Jim's, Steve's, and Angelo's I didn't mention the 2 most common. I'm not saying Jim's and Steve's aren't known, but you're a hack. You're a liar. The 2 most well-known with an absolute bullet, no argument. Much safer an argument than the greatest basketball player of all time, the greatest hockey player. As common as saying Gretzky's the greatest hockey player would be saying that the most well-known cheesesteak places in Philly are Pat's and Geno's. That is I'm not saying you have to like them. I'm not a huge fan. But with a bullet, Don, the most famous. And I mentioned neither. God, you people.
You mentioned Ishka-Bibbles. You mentioned like 7 different ones. You didn't mention those 2. That's not right.
It's not. This is why I don't like people.
A young Denzel, a bit full of himself, right?
You're not young Denzel. You're not. And by the way, Denzel's in the city, and he doesn't appreciate what you're saying. Let's go to Matt in Bergen County. Hey, Matt.
Hey, what's up, guys? Big fan.
Thanks, man.
I want to hear your guys' thoughts about who you like tonight, the next game. And then I want to weigh in also on the Michael Jackson story. It sounds a little fugazi. What do you guys think?
Well, I think the term in this case would be fugazi, not the band Fugazi.
Right.
Thank you, Matt.
Very good band.
I got a few tweets from people questioning the story. Someone pointed out all the talk you guys do on the show about meeting celebrities, and he had forgotten the Michael Jackson story. People are questioning whether that's possible. I hear that. I think it happened some version of it happened, I think Danny's memory has changed as the story on Michael Jackson has changed.
You're saying he's misremembering or the bias of the events after?
Both.
Yeah. Because I believe that everything Danny said was true, but I think it was skewed from a biased place of not liking Michael Jackson. So the way he told the story made it seem to be a little bit more nefarious than it probably was. But if you happened to be there, I'm sure the security guy came over. He walked over. The doors
I don't
open.
think the throwing the kid off, like, oh my God, there's a cop.
There might have been a kid on his lap that came. I believe all those things happened, but the way he described it came from a place of, I don't like Michael Jackson. Here's why.
If you'd really want to put the icing on the cake to that story, he should have said the kid had blonde hair, and he's pretty sure it was Macaulay Culkin. That would have been, and the timeline would be perfect.
Yeah, but
91.
But I don't think Danny's a liar. I think Danny has
some
bias to the things he likes and he doesn't like. He's opinionated.
So you think it's more the like and doesn't like than it is the fact that the story on Michael Jackson has gone the way it's gone over the last 15 years?
I don't think he was a fan of Michael to begin with.
You
I thought Michael
off
was
the wall thriller? No, it's ABC. Not even the kid.
Because that's fine. Maybe he's just not a fan of that music. That's fine. It's not a big deal. It's not that great. I'm not a huge fan of his music. There's songs I like, but it's not. That's not necessarily my genre, and I'm not a huge fan of his music.
Huge fan. I understand.
But I'm not going to say I hate his music because that's not true either. But I don't think Danny's a fan of his music. He probably, Michael was by the early '90s a bit of a freak show.
Oh no,
which probably Danny probably was not a fan.
But the timeline of the look of Michael is the problem. That him saying that in '91 he saw him and he looked like, oh my God, he wasn't even human. That's not what Michael looked like in '91.
He had like some sort of a mask on his face.
No, we'll go back, revisit the tape.
I think this will be featured prominently in ENN.
It might have to be. You know what we're featuring right now? How about this? We have an amazing guest coming on to talk Knicks, and big shout out to our friends over at MSG Networks. They have Game 6 covered tonight with the pregame starting at 8:30 p.m., then game coverage at 9. So tune into MSG Networks tonight for the Hall of Fame game callers, Walt Clyde Frazier and Mike Breen. And with that, we bring in a man, a Knicks legend, and a guy who's just dialed in as a Knicks fan right now, the great John Starks. John, it's Peter and Don. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. We're now under 4 hours for this game tonight. Let's just start with the game time. How do you feel about the 9 p.m. tip? And when a weird time like that pops up, does it affect you much as a player?
Probably during the regular season, not so much during the playoffs, because you know your energy is up and you're just ready to go. You know, you just have to change a little bit of your routine and preparation before the game. But other than that, you're still like locked in. You know how big a game this is.
You know, a lot of people were reminiscing about the past and what you were able to overcome after a tough loss to the Pacers in '94, and you bounce back. So you know from personal experience what it's like to get off the mat after a difficult loss when a star, beats you and you've got to recover. So how do you think the Knicks bounce back after what was your really difficult loss in Game 5?
Yeah, that was a difficult loss. But, you have to, understand why you lost that game, and then you have to put it out your mind, and you just have to move on to the next and prepare for the next. You can't really dwell on that particular game, because if you go into this game and say, oh, we should have won, this series should be over with, then you're not focused on the task at hand. So I'm pretty sure Coach Thibodeau got them prepared, and I'm pretty sure those guys are ready to go. Some tough-minded individuals on their team, so I'm not even too much worried about whether or not they're ready to go tonight, because I know they will be.
We've been debating the lack of use of other players by Tom Thibodeau. Is there anyone you're not seeing play right now that you think could be a major contributor, or that you'd like to see more minutes from on this team? Because obviously, John, at the end of regulation into OT, we saw a lot of just Jalen Ball, where it seemed like he was isolating on the right wing and didn't have a lot of options. Anyone that you think could possibly help the offensive attack in a spot like that?
Well, Well, I think whoever you put in there, they have to step their game up at the end of the day. Jalen, obviously, is our go-to guy, and he can win games single-handedly at times. But during the playoffs, you need everybody to step up. And guys I know is going to step up tonight. I think this is going to be a big game for everyone who plays tonight. Everybody know that they have to pitch in to get the job done. Going back to Philly, there's no easy task. The fans is going to be fired up, especially after what we did to them in Game 4 and what our fans did after the game. So it's going to be an exciting atmosphere there. But I know that guys are ready for this, and everybody knows that they have to, lend a helping hand to get this done.
Now, I speculated because the guys that missed the foul shots at the end of the game were the guys that played the entire game. Do you think fatigue played a factor in some of the mistakes you saw in the final seconds of the game?
Not so much, because you know that you just have to close the game out. Your energy level is high. It was there. It's just unfortunately you got a player. And I always say no matter who it is, once a player gets hot in this league, that basket looks like the ocean. And you could shoot from anywhere on the court. And Maxey was just on fire. He hit a tough shot on Mitch to get a 4-point play out of it. And he came down and shot from the logo. Who was expecting for him to do that? You know what I mean? But he was just hot. So, like I said, you just have to learn from that loss. And, next time you're in that situation, you just have to do a little bit better.
Have you ever seen an out-of-town Knicks crowd? Let me not say that. Have you ever seen a Philly crowd with that big a Knicks presence before where it felt practically like MSG South?
Oh, when we used to go down there, and like I said, there's a lot of New Yorkers down there, and obviously the distance between New York and Philadelphia is not that far, and it was a weekend game. And so Knicks fans, and it's the playoffs, understood that they needed our support, and they came out in full force. I don't think Philly was ready for that. I don't think Ticketmaster was ready for that. And it was just exciting to see. It was just an electric atmosphere there, having the New York fans invade Philly and bringing us home a win.
John, listen, man, we all hope they get that win tonight and advance to the next round. We get to have a conversation later with you as the playoffs go on. But thank you for making the time to talk.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Good luck.
You're welcome. Enjoy. You're welcome. Thank you.
There is the legend John Starks. And a quick reminder, Game 6 tonight on MSG Networks. The pregame actually starting at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. the pregame on MSG, and the tip just after 9 o'clock.
It's pretty incredible. The opening day, Knicks-Celtics. We did a remote outside Madison Square Garden. John Starks was there. Does that feel like it was this year? Like so much has happened in the 82 regular season and now 82-game regular season, and now so far in this first round. What a journey it's been. And it hasn't really even begun. Like, once you get by this, you still have 3 more rounds you hope for to try to get to a championship. It's so long and arduous, and there's so many ups and downs. That's why, maybe we'll look back as what happened in Game 5 as a blessing. Didn't happen in an elimination game. They learned from it. They're better for it. And they advance and they learn from it and are a better team because of it. That's got to be the hope. But do you realize if this team does make a significant run, even to the third round against Boston, how much is going to happen between tonight and then? There's a whole nother round before you get to Boston. And how many more storylines from that series? And it really, to win a championship between the regular season and what you've got to go through in 4 rounds of best of 7, it's incredibly
Also,
long.
the sexiness from just a classic Eastern Conference standpoint. If the Knicks were to go on that run, Knicks Sixers, Knicks Pacers, Knicks Celtics, it's epic. It's so cool.
Yeah, but don't count the Bucks out, though.
Well, that's what I said. If it's
right.
Because that's not as sexy to me. Like the Bucks, Knicks.
That's interesting.
No, just in terms of the legacy of the teams.
Oh, no, yeah, because you're talking about...
I'm thinking 90s.
How many heartbreaking losses to the Pacers? How many heartbreaking losses to the Celtics if you really want to go deep in the Knicks history? Yeah.
So, I'm just thinking of that history and all the players we picture there. All right, guys, we have About 30-some minutes left to talk to you about the Knicks before we hit ENN. And, of course, pregame coverage here at 8:30 on 98.7 to get you ready for the game at 9 o'clock. And, guys, the playoffs have tipped off, but it's not too late to get in on all the...
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
This year, we're giving you a clean slate with fresh, better-for-you ingredients and an easier way to cook. Dinner time just got a whole lot better for you. So sit back and enjoy.
At Away, we know what real travel looks like. So when we make luggage, we think about how you actually get from place to place. How travel brings pit stops and welcome detours. How you deserve an easier, more flexible way to pack. Because when it comes to luggage, how you actually travel matters. Away, designed by travelers for travelers.
Put it on the rest. Put it on the rest. Put it on the rest.
Never read a line of poetry, I'm not a poet, but I sit up in the back of my buttons cause I'm fresh. Never read a book on how to rip it, I just saw it, I don't need your explanation cause I'm better than the rest. Better than the rest. Better than the rest. Let me take you for a ride. I can make you feel alive.
Let's explore your future with Udemy. You can learn how to program and build websites, study design and create logos, improve your presentation skills, and sell your ideas. With Udemy, you can learn practical skills from thousands of online courses taught by real-world experts. Explore your future. Udemy.
Growing up, I always wanted to do so many things.
I wanted to be a vet.
I wanted to be an actor.
When I was really little, I don't know why, but I wanted to be a pastor. When I was like a small child.
I wanted to be a celebrity by any means necessary.
This is Spike Drop Vegas Heist.
These players are playing for a lot of money today.
I'm only here for 2 feet. I don't really care about any other place.
Can't even comprehend what is going on, but I like it.
Money goes. I think that's the most important thing. You see where it's going. Please contribute $11 a month by going to t2t.org.
We all want to feel safe when traveling. That's why if you see something that feels suspicious, such as an abandoned bag or erratic behavior from a passenger, just call 911. You can call anonymously, and it's okay if it turns out to be nothing. Work together with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey to keep our transportation facilities safe. Visit PANYNJ.gov to learn more.
Sunshine on my shoulder makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. If I had a day that I could give you, I'd give to you a day just like today, yeah. Sunshine on my shoulder makes me happy.
Attention, please. You're watching Yes.
I mean, this
the anthem of the Peter haters.
This is Kendrick just absolutely obliterating Drake in a fashion like we've never seen before. It's I don't. This is another thing I've just been frustrated about discussing with people.
I've seen it on social media.
It's just so irritating. I mean, listen, I'm not saying you have to say like you like the song. I'm not saying you have to believe that Kendrick destroyed Drake or anything like that. But the people who downplay the brilliance of what he did on that song, it is a 6.5 minute masterpiece in so many ways.
Teamwork was the whole thing. But now, I see Jalen Brunson. The guy took 32 when they double team him.
Well, that's why they got to discover who it is. Is it going to be DiVincenzo from the perimeter? Is it going to be McBride? They've got the one thing they're going to have to do, Phil, in my opinion, moving forward, whether it's the time between now and the second round or during the offseason, they got to develop some other players, man. You can't have a 7-8-man rotation and expect to go win a championship. You just can't. And listen, Brunson's had an MVP year. What if he just takes a little bit of a smidge step back next year? Is that such a crazy thought? And then what are you going to do? Oh, well, you got Julius Randle. Okay, but there still has to be other guys you can rely upon. And Julius Randle's not coming back this year. So what are you going to do in the next round if you're fortunate enough to win this one, Phil? You're right. Somebody else is going to have to try to step up. It's going to just be too exhausting and too easy to defend.
I'm sorry, Mike.
Don?
But Don, I'm sorry. God.
It's all right.
They're looking at his stats. He shoots 34 shots a game. I could average 30 points a game shooting 34 shots.
Yeah, but
you definitely couldn't, Phil.
Not when everybody's focused on you.
Phil, he hasn't been taking too many shots. The issue isn't that he's like hogging the ball. The issue is to me that they just don't have enough other options for him. And this is kind of what they've been planning on doing. I mean, he's been brilliant. He hasn't been shooting a terrible percentage. I mean, he's scoring 40 points a game. Do you guys know? Can one of you guys give me his field goal percentage for the series? It's not like he's doing it shooting 33%. He's not
find that for you.
It's not one of those like Allen Iverson or even Kobe nights where like he's scoring a ton of points, but he's taking just an obscene amount of shots. But late in the game, he was missing a lot of those shots. In overtime, he was missing those shots, and you need other options.
And that's the question. Who is it going to be? Now, it'll be Julius Randle next year, or maybe they'll get somebody.
All right, here's what we have from Yes. Games 1 and 2, Jalen scored 23 points and was shooting 29% from the floor. All right, and 16% from 3. In games 3 through 5, guys, he's scoring 42 points a game. He's shooting 50% from the floor.
Yeah.
35% from 3. 10 assists a game. He's putting on a clinic in games 3 through 5.
So to answer Phil, no, Phil couldn't do that.
No, Phil, I don't think, I'm not sure, but I don't think you could shoot 50% from the floor in the NBA playoffs. I can't be sure. Let's go to Rob in Idaho. I think that may be a first for me.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever at Idaho.
Hey, Rob, how you doing?
What's going on, guys? Yeah, I am in Idaho. So I think you guys hit a lot of the points about the series on the head. I think that, oddly, the series going a little longer and maybe being a little more rough for the Knicks is good for them in the long term. I think this series has shown that Brunson has been great. He's played very well. But you need a second guy. And back in, I think it was December, when they traded for Anunoby, he's a great player. Knicks played really well with him. But I didn't really like it because you gave up both Barrett and Quickly. And I feel like right now, one of those guys would be a great secondary option to Brunson on the Knicks. And I also just want to say I'm a big Draymond Green guy, and I think you guys touched on it last week, how Embiid has more flagrant fouls than Draymond in about half the games. And if anything that Embiid is doing right now with Draymond, it would be the lead on every morning show, ESPN, Fox Sports, anything like that. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? Knicks getting a second option, and what do you think the future holds after this series?
What the future holds after this series, what's going to change in this? Nobody else is going to step up. This is what it is. Now, next year, will they try to get somebody else? You get a healthy Julius Randle. As far as Embiid, you said it best, Peter. Back on Friday, he's the dirtiest player in the league. Just is. Then you couple that with how good he is, it makes him really dangerous because you know what? He's not going to get kicked out of a game like Draymond, which means he's going to get away with murder.
Let's Anthony, can we pop on Alan Hahn in the next segment?
Yeah, this was a nice text from him, but I don't know if he wants this to go public.
Well,
his evaluation of Phil's call.
No, he just wrote actually, we'll pop on right now. He just said these callers are killing me. That's what I got. He sent a separate text, I believe.
Oh, you didn't get the one?
I don't think I got the one prior to that.
Here, just read this one. It's nice. This is the first sentence, tells you.
Hey, that guy Phil is a... that's not what you were saying.
That's all. I just didn't know if he wanted to own that, but I'd love to get his evaluation.
Yeah, I mean...
He's working the prey, right?
Of course he is.
Well,
Serious. You know what? Let's not wait. Let's get a quick moment with the great Alan Hahn.
Oh, he's there already?
Yeah, he's there.
Oh, look at that. Took us longer to get Andrew.
Alan, you don't think Phil could score 40 a game in the playoffs?
I mean, I love your show. You've had some winners calling in this show today. I mean, absolute winners. Like, I'm stuck in traffic in New York. I'm bouncing all around Manhattan trying to get to different places. Now I got to get to the Garden. So I'm listening as I always do. And I just couldn't take it anymore.
What's bothering you the most?
Alone, but I had to
What's the most annoying
thing? First of all, we're going to power rank these. The thing about the secondary score is like the most Captain Obvious thing anybody could ever say. We all know that Julius Randle's not there. We all know the guy who averaged 25, 10, and 5 is not available. So, yes, Captain Obvious, the Knicks have one guy that's a scorer. And you had a caller, though, like a while back who hit it on the head. He was so good because he said it. Like, you know what you have. Role players who you're now asking, who are perfect role players, or now you're asking them to do more than what their role is because you're missing Julius Randle, and you do need somebody else to step up and provide secondary scoring when Jalen Brunson has to carry it. So we knew this going into the playoffs, but they are still a very competitive team, and so you see how far you can take this thing. That's number one. But number two, the Brunson thing. I mean, the call from Idaho, my God, have more potatoes, dude. Like, clearly you need starch because that might be the worst take I've ever heard in my life. You guys crushed it with the numbers about games 3 through 5. I'm glad you brought that up, Peter, because he has been otherworldly in the last 3 games. But overall, even, just take the whole series with the first 2 games being bad. Do you know if you take his numbers right now and line them up with Allen Iverson in the 22 games that he played in 2001, where it's same story. Their number 2 scorer that year was Aaron McKee. No, I don't even know who he is either.
No, I remember.
And he averaged literally the same points, same shooting percentage, and same shots per game. Like, sometimes that's just how it has to go, and where the Knicks are right now, that's where it has to go. He's doing what he has to do. The role players are trying to step up. This is not going to be easy. No one ever thought it was, but it certainly is a compelling series, and tonight's game is going to be more compelling. So please, my God, people, stop talking about secondary scoring and he's shooting too much. Killing me. I'm going to run into the Audi in front of me in a minute.
So first of all, Aaron McKee does not appreciate what you just did. It was wrong. It was hurtful what you did to Aaron McKee. But here's the thing. So it's a really nuanced conversation, in my opinion, because he's the reason they are where they are, and he is the guy they have to rely on to win this series. Simultaneously, though, did you feel a sense of frustration in overtime when it did feel like the only thing that was drawn up? It reminded me of the old Fresh Prince episode when the coaches every play was pass the ball to Will. Like, did you get frustrated that it seemed like, and Brunson talked about this, he described it as settling. It did feel like he was just settling for a 3. What would you have wanted to see them do offensively in overtime?
That's a good question, and sometimes your best play is just give it to your best player, right? And this series is through 5 games. I was courtside the whole game. First half, what I started to see in that game was that neither team could run an offensive set because they know each other's plays. Everything got blown up. The score in the first half, I don't think touched 90 combined. Like, it was awful. Like, it was not a great offensive game, because 2 teams were just grinding each other out and blowing up each other's offensive sets. So what you started to see was Maxey in pick and roll, a lot of 2-man game with him and Embiid on one side of the court where you had to, who am I doubling? Because if I double this guy, then I'm going to get killed by that guy. And a lot of pick and roll with Jalen Brunson with some spray outs and the occasional 3 that when they hit a few, they'd get on a little bit of a roll. Overtime is where, yes, you said the only guy shooting the basketball is Jalen Brunson. Someone else needs to want to shoot the ball. Problem was, it didn't seem like anybody else did. That was the concern. And that does happen late in playoff games in crunch time with guys who aren't normally those guys. Maxey, Embiid, they're used to taking those shots in clutch situations. That's who they are. Brunson, yes. Anyone else on the Knicks? Not so much. And that is what was exposed. He took 9 of the, I think, 11 shots they took in that overtime. And he himself, on the turnover to Hartenstein, admitted he was kind of settling for a 3 there against Batum when he probably should have tried to probe for the tying bucket instead of, we're going to take the lead here on this 3. And Batum played great defense because, again, they're blowing up sets. That's what I saw. It is going to be frustrating because 6 games in, man, everybody knows what each other is going to do.
Now, do you think some of the mistakes and the foul shots, and then the 3 guys that played the whole game were missing some of the foul shots, do you think fatigue was a factor at all at the end of Game 5?
No. I don't. I mean,
how do you explain this then, Alan?
I think what Josh Hart said was a good thing. I think he's basically said we're conditioned to play 45 minutes because we've been doing it for the last 2 months.
So what's going on here? How about this then?
I think he missed.
Well, so here's the thing. So A, how do you explain this? And B, could this stat be the reason we're playing a game tonight? They shot 82% from the free throw line in games 1 and 2 and dropped off to 65% in games 3 through 5. If that stat is 75, 80%, Alan, we're waiting for Indiana or Milwaukee.
Yes. Yeah, you're 100% right. That is a big part of it. Free throw shooting was something I'm watching tonight. It was going to be one of my things to talk about in our pregame show because it is noticeable, the missed free throw. OG missed one too, nobody talked about late in the game. But Hartenstein has not been good at the free throw line. We all know Mitchell Robinson can't make free throws, and when he goes to the line, it's an adventure. Brunson has been uncharacteristically at times where he'll miss 1 or 2 and you don't expect it from him because he's generally a high percentage free throw shooter. But, Maxey also missed 3 straight free throws late in Game 5 that almost cost him the game. He hadn't missed one all series long. So I don't go with fatigue, boys. I go with pressure. I just think the moment when you get that late into a series where we're talking about elimination game and closing out a team, I just think everything gets a lot tighter. And so the shots are a little bit harder to make, and that's why those 1A high-end elite players, they still make shots. Role players might be a little harder for them even to make open jumpers. And I got DiVincenzo missed a ton of open shots in Game 5. And he's got to start making open threes because he is getting them, but he seems a little tight in this series.
I'll say this, and this is not rocket science. If one of these two things happen, if either DiVincenzo or Hart has a big night, or the Knicks just hit their free throws at above 80%, there's no Game 7. I really believe that's it. But if they don't make their free throws at a high rate and Jalen doesn't get a night from one of those two guys, I think we're playing a Game 7. Either way, Alan, you're going to do a wonderful job tonight on MSG starting at 8 o'clock. Thanks for making some time for us.
Love you guys.
Later, buddy. You too.
Love you too.
Great. I turned off my microphone. It doesn't do it. The great Alan Hahn, ladies and gentlemen. All right, more of your phone calls next before ENN right here on 98.7 ESPN.
Pass the ketchup.
No.
Dad, are you okay?
Yeah, just stressed out.
Oh, and the melody is sounding so much better. I can play it for you. Wait, where's your guitar?
I gave it to your cousin.
What? That guitar's like your favorite thing.
I don't need it anymore. Some days are just better than others.
I think you should go talk to someone.
It's not that easy.
Have you been thinking about suicide? You can talk to me, Dad.
He knows how to work a crowd. Juan Soto is just a flat-out superstar. It's a must-watch. Soto does it again.
This guy is unbelievable. I think he likes it here.
Soto has exceeded all the expectations.
Did you receive a call or message that mentioned Social Security and demanded immediate action? Did the caller know your Social Security number or other personal information and tell you that your Social Security number had been used in connection with the crime? Did you feel worried that your Social Security number might be suspended, your bank account might be frozen or seized, or you could be arrested? That is not the Social Security Administration. Social Security will not threaten you, demand your personal information, or instant payment, email or text you pictures or documents, or use a real government official's name to gain your trust. Social Security does not accept payments by gift card, prepaid debit card, internet currency, or by mailing cash. Criminals use these forms of payment because they are hard to trace. Do not be fooled. Hang up. Ignore them. Report this criminal activity to the Social Security Administration Office of the Inspector General at oig.ssa.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
At this very moment, Doctors Without Borders is on the ground in communities around the world, delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most. Our teams are bandaging war-wounded patients caught in the crossfire in Sudan, providing clean drinking water in Haiti, and performing emergency C-sections in Yemen. Doctors Without Borders teams are in over 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving work is made possible by our movement of supporters, people like you who help our patients even when they're half a world away. At Doctors Without Borders, we won't stop working to bring our patients and their communities from crisis to care.
When I was 19 and I was going to shows, I was not thinking about permanent hearing loss. I wasn't thinking about tinnitus.
Sometimes my kids are having a conversation with me and that ringing starts in my ear. They're talking to me and I hear their voice, but I can't focus on what they're saying.
The audiologist, he told me that most of his clients are not old people. They're kids that have their earphones in.
I have a lot of regret about not protecting my ears sooner.
Protect your ears at all times, no matter what. It's not something you can get back.
The Library of Congress invites you to visit the revamped Veterans History Project website, where firsthand accounts shared by U.S. military veterans are accessible to the public. Performing a search of the collection is easy. First, go to loc.gov/vets. Click Explore the Collections. Scroll down to search the VHP collections and click. Make sure you're searching this collection, and with simple keywords, you can find what you're looking for. Visit loc.gov/vets today.
One in 6 black men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime.
But when it's caught early, it's highly treatable.
For more than 30 years, PCF has funded cutting-edge research. Go to pcf.org/knowyourrisk to learn more about prostate cancer.
It's your life.
The Community Food Bank of New Jersey is the state's largest anti-hunger organization. We provide nutrition. We provide support. We provide opportunity. We can't do it without you. Go to cfbnj.org to join us today.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
How about that?
I can't argue it. I don't know what my retort would be. I don't know if I had anything that I thought was... I still think it's wrong that I haven't gotten the point guard retroactively from Friday. What day was it?
When it was Friday, yeah.
I think I still deserve point guard from when I said you have to go out and close this thing out or it's going to be a terrifying situation.
Well, we don't know if you're right because if they win by 40 tonight, then you were wrong.
So what happens if they lose tonight? Then at that point, right. Then I'm that point.
But we don't retroactive things.
That's not.
We want to be grandfathered in.
You're unbelievable.
What, you want like Craig McTavish without his helmet? If you're a hockey fan, you got that drop. Anthony got it.
If you're a hockey fan, you got this drop.
Hey, guys, it's me, Pat for B.
Let's go to Sean in Brooklyn. Hey, Sean.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for taking my call.
Of course, man.
I live in Waldorf now. But I wanted to say, first of all, I totally agree with Don. You know, we were able to get the number 2 seed, and that was because we kept on playing hard. The system was working. Guys knew what they had to do. And right now, Jalen, I think at the end of that game, once McBride hit that free throw jump shot, all the role players who were locked in, they just took a deep breath and exhaled because they thought the game was over. And I think fatigue did set in, and that's why the free throws were missed. But what I'm saying now, for all these Knicks fans who think that this is just some way to be a stepping stone till next year, no, that's unacceptable. Rosenberg, you can relate to this. Tell them to put a quarter in there. Congratulations, they played themselves. Because we had expectations to be done with Philly, to be moving on. We're talking about Boston. Nobody said we were going to beat Boston, but we were talking about Boston. So as far as it's just a stepping stone, yeah, we're going to be fine. No, that's unacceptable. And tonight we need to channel our energy to Philly, help our guys win this game so we can come back and host a game 1 on Sunday. No, forget game 7. We're talking about game 1.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be on Monday.
Oh, sorry.
No, just to let you know, it looks like they're locked into Monday, and I think they're going to get there on Monday. And I guess it'll be Monday no matter what, even if there is a game 7 on Saturday. Yeah, you change your expectations, but why do I have a feeling that, and maybe rightly so, that no matter what happens, there's going to be this feeling of, boy, what would happen if we had Randall? Where could we have gone if we had gotten Randall? If they lose to the Sixers, if they lose to the Pacers or the Bucks, will that be the narrative, Peter, of, boy, the only reason we lost was because we didn't have Randall?
You know what?
What happened?
Anthony's a bad guy. I hate to call him out. I hate to call him out, but I have to.
I want to know.
You want to know? Judy was on hold for like an hour for a Yankee call.
Okay.
And I'm looking at the clock now. There's 2 minutes left before we got to take a break and get to ENN. and I want to squeeze in these Knicks calls to end. Sure. I don't want to do a random Yankee call right here. I'm not going to.
It worked well yesterday. We should have done it again.
So I said to Anthony down on our little talk back, I go, can you tell Judy we love her, but we're not going to get to her today? And then I just see her call instantly disappear. And I
that
go
was
to
how we responded to what you said.
and I go to Jacob. I said, he didn't tell her what I said, did he? Jacob said, no, just hung up the line. He's an animal. He's an ant. Look at him. Show him on yes. That is the look of a stone-cold killer.
Now, Judy needs to know that he was a bad guy.
Well, she will now. Now she'll know, at least. It's not me. I wouldn't do that to Judy. Michael,
she might be mad at you that you didn't take the call.
Well, but she has to understand that, and I'm right. So she has to understand. It's 5:54, the day before the most meaningful Knicks basketball game in a very long time. I'm sorry. Her comment that it said on the thing was the Yankees aren't going anywhere. Well, they're certainly not going anywhere now. It's May 2nd. So,
but you were trying to be nice, and you thought that Anthony would be nice for you, and he just did. Why did you even disconnect her? Why didn't you just let it go the natural progression?
That's what was going to happen. But Peter said that we had to.
No, but I don't think Peter wanted her off the screen.
I wasn't sickened
Peter
by
wanted
her.
to just to let Judy know. So you defied Peter is what you did. Well, I'm glad you're comfortable.
Is there a bigger?
You're lucky it's not Michael.
Don, is there a bigger contrast in attractiveness on television than the guy on the left and the woman in the middle on MLB right now?
MLB Network has a static 3-shot, the same as Yes does right now, with Anthony Pusick being the one on the right. And Peter's in the middle. And because I know Jacob's a fan. What's her name, Jacob?
Sierra Santos.
Sierra Santos puts you to absolute shame.
Yeah, no. See, I was doing okay in the middle shot, and then I looked up and saw Sierra Santos, and I said, I'm gonna go ahead and take it.
She's very attractive.
She's doing her thing.
It could have been a rock with graffiti on it.
What
would have had a better chance of competing with her than you?
Oh,
and that's a compliment to her, not you.
Oh, no, I thought you were going to go the other way around and say, she is so lovely that I might as well be a rock with graffiti on it. I didn't know that the rock with graffiti would be a better shot than me. That's hurtful.
No, what I'm basically saying, I basically said what you said.
Yeah, just backwards. Let's go to Danny real quick. Danny, quick, in Long Island, what's up?
What's going on, guys? I'll make it real quick. I know you're trying to get to a lovely ENN.
That's right.
2 things. Don, I got to touch base with you. You keep this narrative that you got, which is okay, about the Knicks needing to groom young players so that way they're ready for the big moments. I just got to make a point about that. They've already done that. You got guys like Deuce. You had R.J. Barrett, IQ, right? You had to use those assets to make this a better team as a stepping stone. So, yes, that's something that they definitely have to do again, right? They kind of got to go back a little bit and develop a couple of guys at the same time. But I think that they do a great job of doing it. Just look over the last 4 years.
Yeah, I'm just saying that down the stretch, you could have maybe included more minutes for some of those guys so that if you needed them. Because what happens if they suffer another injury, Danny? Is the season, then you're just going to tap out? Of course not. These guys are on the roster. You went out and acquired some of these players. I just think that that's the one thing about Tibbs that I love, but I also hate. This 8-man rotation, nobody else plays. Is that really smart? In some of these blowout games, Peter, could you have gotten some minutes for some of these players so that if they were asked to play in a big moment, they'd be ready for it? He doesn't trust his bench.
Quickly, Danny in Somerset, what do you got?
Hey, how you doing, guys? I just wanted to touch on this whole Joel Embiid being the dirtiest player. He's definitely the second dirtiest player. No one tops Draymond Green. We watched him put someone in a chokehold and drag them across the court. There's no topping that.
You know what? It's a fair point by you. The more dramatic things have so far been done. But remember, Draymond's been doing this much longer, and Joel has already surpassed him in flagrant 2s. So there's still room for him to have his choke out and drag moment. But I hear what you're saying, Danny. It's a totally fair point. The things we've seen him do at his heights were wild.
But because he's so great, I think it makes it more dangerous because he's going to get the benefit of the doubt more than Draymond. They got no problem kicking Draymond out of a game.
Yeah, it's certainly more so than they are likely to do it with Joel.
If Draymond had done what Embiid did in Game 2, they would have given the flagrant 2 and kicked him out of the game.
I think you're probably right. You know who's not going to be kicked out? Anthony Pusick. He's doing ENN next.
Bad
Peter,
guy.
Don, Anthony's a bad guy. He'll do ENN next right here on 98.7 ESPN.
I'm going to ask you a series of questions about your life,
your career, and everything in between that we've uncovered, they're all centered on numbers. Some of the numbers might be familiar to you, but they all add up to tell your story. So, Nick, are you ready?
I'm ready, dude.
You're ready.
I'm ready. I was able to have my father's number within mine.
Is it true you signed over a pasta meal cooked by your grandmother, Jenny?
Joe came over to my grandma's house and we signed a contract and we had pasta that day, and I literally had completely forgot about that. That's pretty cool.
I'm so grateful that it happened the way it happened. This is how you need to go out, leave it all out there. It was perfect.
What do you want fans to think about when they see the number 23?
I wanted to be somebody different on the field, the window into how I feel about playing out there.
How do you know all this? What was going through my head was soak this in.
The story of my number, presented by the New York Lottery.
He knows how to work a crowd. Juan Soto is just a flat-out superstar. It's a must-watch. Soto does it again.
This guy is unbelievable. I think he likes it here.
Soto has exceeded all the expectations.
The Community Food Bank of New Jersey is the state's largest anti-hunger organization. We provide nutrition. We provide support. We provide opportunity. We can't do it without you. Go to cfbnj.org to join us today.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
When disaster strikes, no matter where and when, cash is best. Those in crisis are able to decide where that money goes. It's easily exchanged and received across borders, and nobody knows the needs of a community in crisis better than the people within it. With cash, help goes exactly where it's needed, when it's needed. Ultimately, cash creates choice. And when it comes to what we should send to communities in need, our choice is simple.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
If you get a phone call, do not talk to the person.
Never, ever give out your Medicare number. Just hang up.
I check my Medicare statements monthly.
To report Medicare fraud, contact the Senior Medicare Patrol in your state.
Diversity is in our nature. It is in nature, too. Biodiversity. It connects us and sustains us. But nature's biodiversity is at risk more than ever before, and the future of all life is in our hands. So what will you do? Love it or lose it?
The Community Food Bank of New Jersey is the state's largest anti-hunger organization. We work with our 800-plus community partners to supply them with the fresh food and resources they need to feed our hungry neighbors. We provide nutrition. We provide support. We provide opportunity. We can't do it without you. Go to cfbnj.org to join us today. That's cfbnj.org.
In an election year, our social media feeds can fill up with sensational claims and unfamiliar sources. And in the age of artificial intelligence, it's not hard to make a fake video look like the real deal. With so many tools, tactics, and motivations for spreading false content, we need to be on the lookout for bad actors looking to sway our votes. If you see a damaging post, image, or story about a candidate or issue, make sure to verify whether it's real or not before you share it. Falsehoods spread much faster than facts. Be informed, not misled.
Well, you know how this goes by now.
Sure.
With Peter here, Don here, Michael in transit, I am Anthony Pusick. I will be handling ENN tonight. It's brought to you by Security Dodge. Go see Michelle Scalisi and...
Come get some!
Yeah! Nice.
Who did that? That was
Stereo.
good.
That was good. I like it.
I dig it the most.
I think that's what they call an accident.
At least we heard it, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was an improvement from yesterday's
That was a
evening.
very big improvement from yesterday. Guys, by the way, easily the most anticipated sporting event of the year, the pickleball showdown between Team DiPietro and Rothenberg and Team Anita Marks and Amani Toomer. That's this Sunday. Yay! At
You were
Pickleball
supposed
America
to do that, Peter.
in Stamford, Connecticut. Pregame coverage
for doing
kicks
that,
off
Anthony.
on ESPN New York at 9 a.m. with a live broadcast hosted by Anita Marks as she sets the stage. She also has her 8 a.m. Golf show as well. So Anita will be on from 8 to 12. Then shortly after the show, the paddles come out for the Pickleball Showdown for the ages. Be there this Sunday to witness the showcase event at Pickleball America in Stamford, Connecticut. Now that that's out of the way, I would like to say good evening to Don. Hold on. Let me finish. That's Don and Peter.
It's funny. The hold on's me. I'm here again.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Oh, it's a combo.
I like that.
I like that.
We work well together.
Yeah.
That's really good.
You defied Peter is what you did.
Well, I'm glad you're comfortable.
Decisions were made, Peter.
Me and Jay did this weird wife swap thing. It wasn't a big deal. That's out of context, which is the point, I suppose.
That's unfortunate. Andrew.
Hey, guys, it's me, Pat Verbeek.
Or Pat Verbeek. You think Pat Verbeek calls himself Andrew Gunling at any point?
No.
No?
That drop will never make sense if you weren't there, but it
Hey,
was...
guys, it's me, Pat Verbeek.
You got to play for Michael tomorrow, no?
I'd love for him to try to figure out what could be going on even to get there, but...
It would be hard to do. Another all-over-the-place show today.
It really would.
Nick-centric, but all over the place.
Yeah, no, that's what made it a beautiful show. That's what made it perfect, is that it was an all-day Knicks thing with some moments of Danny telling stories about Michael Jackson.
Right.
A lot of other interesting things that
Michael was here, see?
I'm sorry, Mike.
Don. That is something that not only did he mistaken me for Michael.
He couldn't come up
with the name of the other guy on the show.
That was the unfortunate piece.
That was troubling. Well, as you all know, guys, we've talked about it all day. Game 6 in Philly, Knicks-Sixers. Knicks looking to close out the Sixers after a disappointing Game 5. Dan Grassa follows us and then has your pregame at 8:30 on 98.7 in the ESPN New York app. The game will start promptly at 9, wink, wink.
You
We'll
don't
see.
know that.
We really have no idea.
No idea.
No idea.
Because I have a feeling, because it's on TNT, that if Pacers-Bucks go into overtime, they'll delay the start. Now, eventually, they're going to have to tip it off.
I've been told by good authority
that
the tip is planned for 9:02. I told that person, good luck with that.
Well, I'm sure that's the hope.
That's the hope.
Now, eventually, they're going to have to give up and put it on True TV until the Pacers and Bucks are over. But I think by the time you get to 9:20, they'll say, listen, we're just going to have to start it on True TV. I believe this can go on as late as 9:20.
Well, there is some intrigue in that Pacers Bucks game,
Yeah.
Don. Damian Lillard will be back. He's missed the last couple of games. Yep, the logo. With an Achilles injury, Giannis still out, which makes sense. That when you heard that Kristaps Porzingis, who has the same injury as Giannis, is probably going to be back in the conference final, there was no way that Giannis was going to, even though that the Bucks need this game, it's an elimination game for them, that he was going to magically come back and be healthy.
So you've got Giannis missing an elimination game for the Bucks. Austin Matthews missing his second elimination game for the Leafs.
It's like he's reading it.
It's
He
crazy.
knows what he's doing.
He knows. Now, Peter, I don't know if you know what's going on with Austin Matthews.
No.
He is out tonight again. Another elimination game for the Maple Leafs in Toronto. And what it's been classified as for the last 2 games is an illness.
Okay.
Now, we all know that hockey players kind of play through everything. What kind of illness would keep Austin Matthews out of 2 playoff games?
Herpes. It's the only answer.
Wow.
Well, you can.
That's
unless you get to like Simplex 10, whatever it was.
I'm sorry. I was joking. But,
so, yeah, it's called a lingering illness, and it's just very odd that, you hear guys that play through a lot. I'm not saying Austin Matthews. I think Austin Matthews is hurt in some way. And I think Don said that you're starting to see that there's a report that he might have tweaked something along with having the illness then while he was trying to ramp back up.
Well, they're showing video of a collision he had with McAvoy that might have led to some sort of meniscus, but then they would just say lower body injury. They're saying illness. So what illness can keep you out? The only thing I can think of illness-wise that would keep you out for multiple elimination games would be like a post-concussion syndrome kind of thing where, because I also heard, didn't Sheldon Keefe or somebody say that it's something that when he's on the ice, it gets worse? Like, so it sounds to me like some sort of a head injury. Again, I'm just speculating.
Yeah, it's all speculation.
But it sounds to me, because usually they'll say upper body injury when it's a concussion. But I'm just wondering if it's the effects of a concussion. I remember Scott Stevens suffered a concussion in a game like in February. And he ended up missing playoff games because of the post-concussion syndrome of that. Like, so is it something like that?
Look at Anthony Rizzo last year.
I just can't imagine. Because what would it be to keep you out? All right, there's the soft serve situation.
Calgary.
In your pants?
Yeah. But the fortunate thing about the soft serve in your pants, it usually is like lasts a few hours or
soft serve in your pants
in a day. No, like if it's a stomach thing, it's like a day, you're over it.
Yeah, go away.
That doesn't go on for 3-4 days. You go in the hospital. You're on IV. So if it's any kind of like a flu or a bug, he'd fight through it, man. So something's going on there.
Now, is this going to be a new thing with Michael? He sent us pictures of chocolate soft serve, not in his pants, in a baseball cup the last 2 days.
Yeah,
is that going to be a thing now, Peter?
I guess he enjoys the Baltimore soft serve.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a permanent thing, but he obviously likes what they're doing in Baltimore with the soft serve, and so I really did enjoy him just sending a picture and then leaving the caption
in your pants. That's basically just a little insight.
And we can't say on the air what it was, but how about the random picture that he sent to our group chat earlier in the middle of doing a game?
Very strange.
Well, I didn't see that.
Oh yeah,
don't say out loud, but it's
why not? He sent it.
I know, but it's not for the air. It's him messing with you, Don.
Yeah.
But the fact that this is what he makes time for, it's probably the 5th inning. And he's
but.
Well, I have so many questions. That was my main question. I told Jacob.
Can I just say this? Again, I don't want to offend anyone.
Please don't.
But is doing a baseball game that easy that he could? Because it was like a little project.
Can any of these stories have a happy ending?
In your pants. That's
because
very timely.
He sent a picture.
Yeah, sure.
That you gotta find.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
AKA troll.
Yeah. That's something. Yes, that's right.
No, I
you
couldn't bring it up.
Peter's what you
know, I'm going to say, I'm glad you're comfortable. I don't think you can get up if we said what it was.
New buzzword, by the way, Peter, for hockey in these Stanley Cup playoffs: maintenance. If guys are missing practices,
maintenance.
It's maintenance.
Yeah,
we haven't even gotten upper body, lower body, but now it's maintenance.
Maintenance is more. It's a word that makes more sense than a lot of the other words we hear thrown around in baseball. It's an army. It's an army.
But you
an army feeling in the army region.
Barking.
The arm is barking.
Ups.
The leg is leggy.
He's got some ups.
He's had too many ups. But the leg leggy and the arm barky, we don't know what to do. You know,
he's got
the leg too leggy.
It kind of reminds. Brian Regan, the comedian.
Sure, I do.
Yes.
His best bit is like, where did they come up with the walkie-talkie? So why didn't they call the band? Why didn't they call Obama whammy kablammy?
And the fruity tooty aim and shooty.
It's like, yeah, right.
Stupid in school is also very good with him.
But yeah, he's very, very funny. But the point is that maintenance for missing practice, nobody cares. It's practice. It's practice.
Well, I'll say this, Tom.
Practice.
You get a little concerned. Peter Laviolette spoke today. Adam Fox missed 2 straight days with maintenance. But his quote was something along the lines of, when my player's ready to practice, they'll practice. When they're cleared, they're cleared. Cleared?
Yeah,
Does that mean Adam Fox is not cleared?
Now, the reason this is an issue, Peter, is towards the end of Game 4, there was I think it's the end of the second period of Game 4, a knee-on-knee in which he had to leave the game, wasn't there for the start of the power play, came back out for the power play later on.
And it helped score the goal.
It helped score the goal, but he seemed like he was a bit compromised with that knee. So is it that? Is it something serious? Can't afford to lose Adam Fox, but we still have some time before it looks like it's going to be sometime Sunday. It's only Thursday.
You got time.
So we'll see.
Guys, some interesting stuff from Nick legend Charles Oakley. He was on Freddie and Harry today on ESPN Radio. He's been very complimentary of Jalen Brunson, but in that same vein has also been very, very disrespectful to Patrick Ewing and Carmelo Anthony.
He didn't galvanize the team like what Brunson doing with less talent. Melo got his number, but he didn't put the team on his back. That's what Bronson doing. Putting the team on his back. He's showing he got IQ. He's making plays. I mean, they go from the 6th, 7th seed, lose Judah Random, now they finish in the top 2. I mean, you got to hang your hat to give him the flowers.
And Charles also said he didn't see the same leadership from Patrick Ewing that he does from Jalen Brunson.
I go by what I see. I played with Patrick for 10 years. I didn't see this kind of energy from him and leadership. And, you know, it's in my book. I mean, you read the book. I ain't nothing bad against Patrick, but he wasn't that type of player. He didn't never put his team on his back. He never stood up for his teammates.
I got to tell you, that doesn't sound like nothing.
No offense.
But that's...
All due respect.
All due respect. I did not read his book, so I guess this is...
Well, you know what? Well, he should be offended because you read everyone else's book.
I was going to say, it's a book that I didn't read.
I can't listen, I guess that's how he feels about it, but to what end? I mean, he's a legend. It's a serious allegation. That he was no kind of leader, that he put in, wow, that's a and of course Patrick can't get up from it because Patrick didn't win. You know, it was Patrick's missed finger roll that cost him a 95, all of the guarantees that didn't come through. But go on, I guess he would know, but that's a shame, isn't it? Like, what do you just want to sell books? Like 10 years, You're throwing this guy under the bus. He's a legend. He's a Knick legend. His number 33 hangs in the rafters at Madison Square Garden. Does he deserve that?
Well, yeah, he said it earlier in the week, too, Don. I forget where he said it. And then I was like, that's kind of an odd thing to say. And then it was sent to us again today from the network. And I was like, well, now he's doubling down. It's like, maybe everybody didn't hear what I said the first time. Let me say it again.
Now the Melo thing is interesting because there might be some truth to that because that's how a lot of Knick fans felt at the time. But this is Patrick.
That was a broad side. I mean, that's an 18-wheeler. You're facing the other direction. Hey, Anthony, I'll see you in a sec. And you turn around, an 18-wheeler smacks you.
Wow.
You're like
nice.
You're like Yosemite Sam. You're a cartoon character. How bad you got smacked.
But does it have to be said? Again,
I guess.
Apparently it did.
Again, he's trying to sell books, and if it's true, I guess you can never be criticized for just telling at least your truth. But you really have to not like him to throw that out there. Yeah, you have to have a problem with Patrick to do that.
Yeah, so that was Charles Oakley earlier. Of course, the Knick game, as we said, starting at 9. Josh Hart, is that going to mess with you?
I have no idea what the hell I'm about to do. I guess usually I nap. I don't even know. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat, sleep, and then I don't know.
Now, it's not that much different than a Saturday 8:30 tip on ABC, so it's only 30 minutes longer. We had John Starks on who said that not because it's a playoff game, so no, maybe in the regular season it would bother him a little bit more, but you are taken out of your routine. Because it's a good question, Peter. When do you eat?
That was my question earlier. I said, Anthony, I imagine the plan would be on a regular 7 o'clock tip. Mm-hmm. You have some sort of snack at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, right?
Carb up a little.
Carb up a little bit, whatever is your bars, or it depends who the person is. And then I think you probably have your dinner at like 10 o'clock when the game's over. This pushes everything. You're now starting. It's just a little off. And maybe it won't affect them at all. But the key is, man, 2 things. One, we broke down the tickets yesterday, and it seems like there's a ton of tickets being bought from New York. Is it going to feel like MSG South again?
I think it won't be to the extent it was in Game 4. Was that Game 3?
Yes.
Game
I think
4.
people will be there.
But there'll be a contingent. Will they take over the building? Well, also how the game goes will determine that. If the Sixers are up big, you probably won't hear much.
Although, what a point Anthony made, Andrew Gunling, I should say, made on the show earlier. The series differential is +2 for Philly.
Yep.
I mean, that's the part, and I said this yesterday. Maybe it could have been point guard. Didn't get it. It's okay.
Interesting.
Where the overconfidence from Knicks fans, I understand the overexcitement, but the overconfidence, this series been a draw. The whole thing's been a draw.
It really has.
So, like, y'all can do whatever you want, but as far as I'm concerned, I actually have to drive to my other location tonight. I'll be listening to the first half of the game. The estate, if you will. It's quite an estate.
Pat O'Keefe, Monica McNutt. Great job.
I'll be listening to the Pat McNutt of it all.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I'm not stressing it because we all know where this game's going to be in the fourth quarter.
It's going to be close.
It's going to be close. You're going to have chocolate soft serve, and you know where it's going to be in the fourth quarter.
In your pants.
Josh Hart was asked actually about the fact that
about soft serving your pants.
No,
I'm honored.
The Phillies contingent, the Philly contingent buying 2,000 tickets, giving them out to first responders and fans to make sure that they fill the building with Philly fans. And he's asked if the Knicks were in the heads of the Philly organization.
I don't know. That's up to them. You know, this is a good sports town. Those 2,000 tickets are going for a good cause. So, you know, I always show love to the first responders, but that was interesting to see.
Now, it
Good
just
answer,
comes down.
I'd say interesting. Michael Kay is interesting.
It comes down to the economics. Now, there are rich people in Philadelphia, no question. But in New York,
Rocky,
you've got
Apollo.
Yeah.
Hey, I mentioned when we had Andrew on that I saw that
Hextall.
That the Hurricanes for games 3 and 4 of their series with the Rangers.
Rick Tocchet very well off.
That you have to be from North Carolina. Like, because they're concerned because Ranger fans travel well, Knick fans travel well, Yankee fans, same thing. You've got a lot of rich New Yorkers who are like, I got no problem hopping on a plane, going to Raleigh for games 3 and 4. Raleigh's wonderful. It's a very nice place.
It might cost you
And
less.
Philadelphia, like Andrew said, there's people that live in Central Jersey that follow the Knicks, and it's an hour ride down the turnpike and go to a playoff game on the road. Why wouldn't you? And I think it's a problem that a lot of markets have that have diehard fans, but at the end of the day, Knick fans, Ranger fans, Yankee fans, Giant fans are going to get in the building. You ever go to a Giant Buccaneer game? Half the people are Giant fans.
Yeah,
doesn't mean the Buccaneers don't have fans. It's just that Giant fans travel well. Jet fans travel well. It's the New York thing.
How about this take? If they don't trot out Jason Kelsey tonight, hack job by the Sixers.
Wow.
Don, you have to have Jason Kelsey standing there waving a towel, doing something. Is there anyone electrifying that city more right now? I want Iverson. I want maybe Meek Mill. I don't know where he currently is in Philadelphia, Laura. It's up and down. You know, they're tough on their rap artists. But I need Jason Kelsey.
You want to show me something, Philly?
Are you ready for it?
Taylor Swift.
Wow. That could.
You get them all.
No.
That
could backfire. That could backfire.
But
you don't want.
Bring back all the dignity. Bring
the dignitaries.
Mike Schmidt.
You want Schmidt back?
Get Schmidt.
Yeah, bring Schmidt.
I'm just trying to think of other. Ron Jaworski around?
Got to get Jaws.
Nobody fires up a crowd more like Ron.
You get 3 times dope. Jill Scott.
You know you got to wheel out there. Not wheel out. You know you got to get out there. It's Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper.
Why wheel out? Why was that even?
That's why I took it back. It doesn't make sense.
But what about
be wheeling out? I don't know.
What about Sly?
Jimmy Carter.
How about a little Sly? How about Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince?
That'd be something. That would really be something. Peter, you had to have...
And the video, when they introduce them being there, they don't show beforehand. They don't show Parents Just Don't Understand or Summertime. They show the video of Will, like, in slow-mo, slapping Chris Rock. And then they go to Celebrity Showdown. There's Will Smith slapping people.
Wait a minute. Why are we giving them ammunition? There's enough time for them to put this together. We don't give them ammunition.
You know what? I didn't tell Michael Rubin or anybody. If they come up with that, it's on their own.
So you're telling me that that's the turning point. It's not some turnover or a non-timeout or a 4-point play.
Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
When they showed Mike Schmidt on the Jumbotron, that's when it all came up.
How about Bernard Hopkins they could get?
Oh,
well, apparently,
we were forgetting the biggest name.
You want to talk about a turning point? Apparently, Cardi B was shown late going into Game 5 at the 29-second mark when it all...
No.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
That late?
That late. They put her up on... I believe Ray Santiago had the tweet that she got put up on Celebrity Row at like 29.8 left in the fourth quarter.
But that doesn't mean she got there.
But they said she got there late.
Late enough.
I'm not going to blame Cardi here. There's plenty of blame to go around in this game. Cardi B is not the reason that the
By the way, I got to tell you, MSG, though, they are a different level of petty when they want to be.
They do a tremendous job.
They do a great job. The Emily Ratajkowski losing her ticket rights because she left the game early. I like that she's still supporting, though. She's posting pictures, still wearing... She wants her privileges back.
It's amazing.
You can't kick out Emily Ratajkowski. You can't. It's not right.
No, it's not right.
For as long as she wants to be there. As long as she's there, Don. Whatever time she wants to spend there, let her be there.
But we forgot the big Philly guy, Ed Hospodar. They're going to throw him on the Jumbotron and forget it. All bets are off.
Oh, my God, you're right. There's the video. They showed Cardi and Offset. It's 96.90 with 28.9.
You know that Twitter account?
Oh, man.
Sports images that precede unfortunate events?
Yeah.
That should be the still.
Oh, boy.
It's just an unfortunate situation for Cardi and Offset. Not their fault. The Knicks did that all on their own. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. Peter, you had to have been keeping track on this Ryan Garcia story, no?
It's a wild story.
So, as we know, Don, Ryan Garcia upset Devin Haney in their bout last month.
Remarkable.
Destroyed
him. And it was Don, legit one of the craziest events I've ever watched. And I was falling asleep. Natalie and I were watching a movie. I was about to fall asleep, and I literally woke myself up, got on my phone. I was like, oh, my God, I'm going to miss it. Pulled the fight up just in case something crazy happens. I'm falling asleep with my phone next to me, and I hear, Haney goes down. And I'm literally like, wait, what? So anyways, he beats the hell out of Devin Haney, and now
he tested positive for a performance-enhancing substance. Ostarine the day before.
Before the fight.
So, yes. But the samples were collected prior, but results weren't known until later.
But what's going on here? Now, I heard his statement. I don't know if we got time for the
We
sound.
do have time for the statement if you like it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that I don't cheat. What can I say? You know, why did they come out with this before, you know, the fight? If they found it before, why would they let me step into the ring as a cheater and then come out with the victory and then they post this? You know, again, these are people
but hold on. Here's my response to this, though.
For whatever reason, but
Thank you, Ryan. No, stop it. Thank you, Ryan. The thing is, remember, Ryan Garcia is also a troll. He missed weight by a few pounds, and he walked up to the scale drinking a beer. He doesn't care. I think he would be willing to cheat. And after he loses the fight, it wasn't for a title anyway. He just wants attention and followers. And
why did this come out after the fight? Why was he allowed to fight if he tested?
Because they said the results.
They said the results didn't come out.
Why would you have results come out after the fight? This is stupid.
To nullify a title change or anything like that, I suppose. I don't know. It is weird. But
there's no
and he's got 10 days to get his B sample tested as well, which could prove that was negative. It could be a false positive on the.
Is he going to do that though? I guess we'll see.
We will see. That'll do it for ENN today. Brought to you by Security Dodge. 24/7 at securitydodge.com during their Memorial Day.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Don't forget, coming up at 7 o'clock, it's a replay of the game from earlier today between the Yankees and the Orioles as they wrap up their 4-game set in Baltimore. For all of us here on the Michael Kay Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. The Michael Kay Show on Yes is presented by